Hello everyone and welcome back to another Marvel Crisis Protocol Battle Report. Today for you we have a 19 threat match of the Uncanny X-Men versus the Cabal, featuring the newest releases, Jean Grey, Omega Red, Cassandra Nova. We're going to see what they're like on the table, but we can go into more details about that as we take a look at both the teams. So here is our Uncanny X-Men team with special guest Deadpool. Both Uncanny X-Men leaders are present, but it will be Storm who is leading the team, so her X-Men Gold leadership will be kicking in to give everyone cover if they're getting attacked outside range 2, and maybe occasionally making use of the move within one thing. But Cyclops is also here. Deadpool, as previously mentioned, just as a special guest to fill up the extra points, to see how he does in an X-Men team rather than X-Force. We've got Wolverine at the back there, and new addition Jean Grey. And their tactics cards today are First Class, Chimichangas, Exceptional Healing, To Me My X-Men, and Jean, which I can only ever hear in Wolverine's voice. I can't picture the Cyclops voice actor's voice at all from the 90s cartoon, but I can just hear Wolverine's shouting Jean every time I see that card. It's wonderful. And here is the 19th threat of Cabal, being led by the Red Skull. So he'll be helping everyone else generate a little bit of extra power as long as they keep dealing damage. We've got Toad just to fill up an extra 2 points. We have Sabretooth, I almost called Wolverine there. And then the two new additions previously mentioned. So we have Cassandra Nova, who'll be dealing out lots of mental attacks. She can force people to move, which is very handy, although Jean does counter that if she's willing to spend the power. And we have Omega Red, who is just a big old sort of poison vampire. So he'll be spreading lots of poison. He can heal off of people he attacks, and just does some nasty stuff. And their tactics cards are Grievous Wounds, hang on, you have to tackle that one after reading it in full. Carbonadium Synthesizer, I think, Mental Domination, Reversal, and Brace for Impact. And here is the two crises being played today. The threat value is from the Secure, which is Demons Downtown has their comeuppance come due. So that's the 3 flaming portals. You score 1 if you're securing it, and then during the next power phase, everyone within 1 takes the Incinerate, so that's 1 less defense die. The other, the Extraction, is an old one. Been a long time since we've seen Spider Infected. It's from the core box. There's 5 Spider Infected on the map. You get 1 victory point for each one you're holding. You can only hold 1, I believe, yep. And then in the power phase, you roll a die. On a hit, crit, or a wild, you are moved small by your opponent. So we can quickly just take a look. The flaming portals are where the gamma shelters would be, so in a line like that. There's a Spider Infected right on top of the middle portal. Just put it to one side so you can see it better. And then there's 1 there, there's 1 there, there's 1 to the left of that tree there, and then there's 1 there. Alright, we'll get both teams set up and see where they're deploying. So we are deployed and good to go. The Uncanny X-Men are to your left and they will be taking first activation. The Cabal are to your right. So if we just take a look here, we've got Wolverine, we've got Deadpool on top, Jean on top of the car, Deadpool in front of the car, which is the safest place to be, I'm sure. And then Storm and Cyclops up the top of the table there. And then on this side we have Toad down here, then we have Sabretooth, Red Skull, Omega Red, and Cassandra Nova right at the top there. In the power phase, I believe, I think Jean is the only person who generates extra power. She gets 1 extra power in the power phase. But other than that, time to get started. So it was Wolverine who got the game started, however, first I forgot to mention First Class is obviously being played. At the start of an activation phase, an allied Uncanny X-Men character can play this card. Each allied Uncanny X-Men character does not have to spend power the first time they interact with an objective token this round. So that is in effect, it'll be affecting picking up the Spider Infected. So Wolverine moved up medium next to the Spider Infected who was there, paid his 1 power, he would have paid his 1 power, but First Class counters that because he's an Uncanny X-Men. Picked it up, and then medium moved over to the flaming portal there. The only long move on the entire table, Sabretooth activated first for the Cabal. He was not fast enough though with 1 long move to get into within 1 of the middle objectives, so he did have to spend a second move just to move just an eensy bit to get further in. He paid his 1 power, he picked up the Spider Infected, he is holding that portal as well, but obviously he is in a bit of a danger zone from getting attacked by the Uncanny X-Men now. Jean Grey activated next. She moved up medium as her first action, then as her second did a Psionic Bolt on Sabretooth. It's a range 4/5 dice Mystic, yeah. It can sap power, although they didn't have any power to sap. It hit Sabretooth for 2 damage, which gave her enough power, because it does generates power for her equal to damage done, to then use Battlefield Manipulation as a superpower, picked up the shipping container that was there, size 3, chucked it medium into Sabretooth's face for a further 3 damage. Not enough to seal the deal though. He has 6 health on his undazed side, so he is still conscious and holding that spider infected with 1 health remaining. The Red Skull activated and moved up medium to the far side of the closest portal as his first action. Then he tapped the cube as his other action, and unfortunately he suffered 1 damage from doing so to get the 3 power from that, which he then spent on Master of the Cube, or whatever one it's called, where you select an ally within 3 or 4 and move them 2. So Sabretooth has been moved to relative safety behind the dumpster there in semi-cover, and maybe out of line of sight from, well, I think everyone else moves medium, so yeah, he could be safe back there. He's obviously not holding the middle portal anymore, but he might live. Cyclops activated and moved up medium and did not pay 1 power to pick up the spider infected because of the first class card in effect. Another medium move was not enough to get him into the middle portal, nor was it enough to get him in range of Sabretooth. So he basically just did like a half move. He's kind of positioning himself in such a way he doesn't want Cassandra to get in range to manipulate him or anything like that. But he'll be able to shoot some eye lasers next turn, in theory. Omega Red activated. He is a slow boy, he just moves small, and he did so to move within 1 of the spider infected that was over there, paid his 1 power to pick it up, and then move small over here. He doesn't really need to help secure this back one, so he deliberately stayed out of 1 of it. He's just positioning himself for next turn. Simple activation up next for the Uncanny X-Men. Storm just double medium moved, and that was enough to put her in within 1 of the central flaming portal. So now it's over to either Toad or Cassandra Nova for the Cabal. Toad activated next, and he was up to some sneaky stuff. He moved within 1 of the spider infected, the last one on the table that was over here. He paid his 1 power to pick it up, and then he medium moved back, but not enough to have a stake in that portal there. As I say, he's doing sneaky stuff. Last activation for the Uncanny X-Men was Deadpool. He basically moved in a half to get him to where you can see there. He spent his 1 power on Chimichangas, which last time he used just helped the enemy, so hopefully that won't happen this time. He pays 1 to play the card. He now is holding the Chimichanga. Anyone who is holding it, because if he gets dazed he drops it as per normal objective. At the end of their activation, they gain 1 power and can remove 1 special condition. Sorry, they gain 1 power, can remove 1 damage or 1 special condition. You have to choose between the damage or special condition, but you do gain 1 additional power. So that's now going to be on his card, right there. We'll see if that makes any big difference, as it is over to Cassandra Nova to end off Battle Round 1. So all the way down there behind the tree, Cassandra Nova moved up medium, and she was out of range to spend her 1 power to do mind possession, and Deadpool is immune to being moved by psionic attacks anyway. So she settled for just her psionic bolt, which is literally the same as the one Jean Grey used on Sabretooth. It has sap power, which did proc once, and got through for 2 damage on Deadpool. Deadpool's got good mystic defense, so of 4, sorry. So he did pretty well, but that is half his health on his healthy side. Afterwards, she's banking a lot of power because of the Cabal affiliation also giving her some bonus power. She's not in range to do anything else, so range 3 is kind of like her sweet spot for doing a lot of nasty stuff. So Deadpool was safe for now, but he did take that 2 damage. And with that, we're into scoring for Battle Round 1. So at the end of Battle Round 1, / going into the start of Battle Round 2, because stuff happens in the power phase after cleanup, we have quite a bit to cover. The Uncanny X-Men held the back flaming portal and also the middle one for 2 victory points. They also held 2 of the spider infected, bringing them to a total of 4 victory points in Battle Round 1. The Cabal held 3 of the spider infected and also the back portal, so they also gained 4 victory points. Now for everyone who is within 1 of the portal, they gained Incinerate, so Red Skull, Storm and Wolverine. And also in the cleanup phase, anyone holding a spider infected may be moved small if a hit, crit or a wild is rolled. Not sure which one of them is supposed to proc first incidentally, because they happen simultaneously, but oh well. Wolverine got moved back over there. Cyclops did not get moved. Sabretooth, Toad and Omega Red all had to get moved. So Toad got moved forwards rather. Sabretooth also got brought forwards. And Omega Red got pushed backwards because he is nasty. And with that, we are ready to go into Battle Round 2 with the Uncanny X-Men still holding first activation. So it was Deadpool who got Battle Round 2 started, and that's where he ended up. But first, from where he was standing, he did a bang bang range 4 attack with his pistols. Just 4 dice, but he got lucky. It did 2 damage actually. I forgot to put the second marker there. But 1 was all that was required so that Sabretooth is dazed, and he has dropped his spider infected there. Rather than go after it, Deadpool has retreated back here because he's also sneaky, and healed thanks to healing factor, even ignoring the chimichanga. Thanks to his healing factor, has fully healed as well from the damage he took from Cassandra in the turn 1, and has also gained 1 extra power from taking a bite out of the chimichanga. So with Sabretooth down for the count, it was the Red Skull who started for the Cabal this time. He tapped the cube, didn't take any damage from it this time, and he used that power to move Omega Red within 2 of his positions. That's why he's where he is now, where you see him. Then as the other move, he moved Medium. He got close enough that he is now attempting to secure the middle portal, but he couldn't get close enough to the Spider Infected to pick him up. So he's where he is. He's already incinerated, he's a little bit on fire, but he is trying to hold that central portal. Storm activated and first of all paid 1 power to pick up the Spider Infected that had previously been dropped by Sabretooth. She shot a lightning bolt into Red Skull's face and did 2 damage to him, and then she retreated Medium to secure the back portal here. Cassandra Nova activated. She came round the side of the tree for her first move, Medium move rather. Then she spent 4 power on Flesh Manipulation as a range 2 8 dice physical attack. Cyclops is barely within 2, however that did allow him to spend 2 power on Quick Draw, where instead of rolling whatever his defense normally is, 4 in this case, he rolls 5, and if he takes no damage, he does damage back. He did take damage though, he took 2 damage from it, and also it has a roll for Explosive Force, if you get at least 1 wild, which she did. She pushes anyone within 2 of her back small, and they suffer 1 damage. Unfortunately it's anyone, not just enemies, so Red Skull got shoved and suffered 1 more damage. He is still just within 1 of the portals, so he is still holding it, but I think he's at 4 of his 6 damage now, so that probably wasn't worth it for just 2 damage to Cyclops. Jean activated next, and she just stayed still and started shooting out mind bullets. She did 2 psionic bolts for her turn. The first one went into Red Skull. It did 2 damage, and that was enough to daze him. The second went into Cassandra Nova, and it did 3 damage, which is pretty good, although she's pretty tanky. Well, she's not got great physical defense, but she's got 7 health on her healthy side. So she is still standing with 4 left. But yeah, Jean did a lot of work there. Omega Red activated, the second last activation for the Cabal. He hopped over the car just within 1 of the portal there, and then just within range 3 he used his Carbonanium tendrils. I can't say that word at all. His tendrils, he used them on Cyclops. He actually did 4 damage, but the automatic one got taken away for cover, which I've been forgetting to mention, but as I said at the top of the video, the leadership ability from Storm, if they're attacked from outside range 2, they count as in cover. So that actually saved Cyclops' life. It left him on 1 HP, so it was definitely worth remembering to mention now. And it is over to either Cyclops or Wolverine for the Uncanny X-Men next. So Cyclops activated and used Optic Devastation for 4 power, which is his Beam 5 Concussive Force, so it steals 1 power. There was no way to fit the beam that it would hit Cassandra and Omega Red. They were just far enough apart that it wasn't possible to make it happen from where he was standing. So he settled for just hitting Cassandra. Did very well, did 3 damage, she's got 1 health left. He then retreated, because this is part of the X-Men's plan, he retreated Medium back here. Super simple activation for the final activation for the Cabal. Toad, he just positioned himself on the far side of the starting portal here, so that he was securing it for 1 victory point. So the last activation in Battle Round 2 was Wolverine. He just Medium moved twice in order to deny the Cabal a point by contesting that middle flaming demonic portal. Because it's just him and Omega Red now, because Red Skull and Sabretooth are dazed. But because he ended an activation within 2 of Omega Red, his Karma Chameleon tendrils, or poison, or whatever it is that emits his spores, has left Wolverine poisoned. So he loses 1 power in the power phase. That's how that works. And with that, we're into scoring. So here's as things stand at the end of Battle Round 2, with also new Incinerates applied, and also people who are holding Spider Infected moved. Points wise though, the X-Men held the back Flaming Portal and have 3 Spider Infected for 4 victory points, taking them to 8. The Cabal held their back portal and had 2 Spider Infected, giving them 3, taking them to 7, so there is a 1 point difference as we go into Battle Round 3 with the Cabal taking first activation this time. Let's see, Omega Red was incinerated. Oh, Toad should be incinerated as well, the icon's missing. And I think that's it for new Incinerates. Storm was moved there. Wolverine was moved there. Omega Red was once again sent over that car for like the 3rd time. And that was it. Toad didn't get moved. But he will have an Incinerate applied as we go into Battle Round 3. So Battle Round 3 got started with Cassandra Nova playing Mental Domination. It gives you a range to only 2 physical dice attack, but obviously there's a trick to it. Costs her 3 to play. Jean can also play this card if she takes it. You choose an enemy character within 3. She picked Wolverine. You advance them small, and then you make that attack listed above from them, adding on dice equal to their physical defense. You also force the opponent to reroll any number of defense dice. So Wolverine just sauntered up to Storm and viciously attacked her for a lot of dice and had 4 crits in the initial roll. So after subtracting her defense, which were allowed to be rerolled to be made worse, she took 7 damage, so that's an insta-daze on Storm. She dropped her Spider Infected there, but Cassandra moved to the portal and where the Spider Infected was and paid 1 to pick it up. She only has 1 health left, but she figured she might as well make it hard for someone to just steal that back. So Wolverine got things started for the Uncanny X-Men. He spent 3 on the Best at What I Do, which is a free throw and attack with Adamantium Slash. He did it on Cassandra Nova, did 1 damage, and that was all that was required. So she is dazed, but he's already holding a Spider Infected, so the one she was now holding from Storm just had to be put right on the floor. He then did another Adamantium Slash, this time on Sabretooth, got 2 damage through on him, at which point Red Skull paid 2 to play Reversal to try and do damage back to him. You roll 4 dice, and for each crit or wild, you deal 1 damage. He only rolled 1 crit, which deals 1 damage, and then when Wolverine ended his activation, it immediately healed. So not the smartest play of Reversal there. So Sabretooth decided to spend all the power he's been sitting on. He started with a Savage Predator, sadly didn't get the finisher for a free claw attack, but he did deal 2 damage to Wolverine with that. He then spent on No Mercy, so for up to 3 damage on the target he gets extra dice, and he did a basic claw swipe which put that at 7 dice as well, so he did 2 7 dice attacks, physical though, and Wolverine's good against physical. That one though did 3 damage, so that's 5 damage on Wolverine in total. He's already activated, he has 2 health left, but Sabretooth also did not move after the Spider Infected. Expected him to take Wolverine out there, so a little disappointing. Jean activated and first of all made a medium move so that she was next to the Spider Infected and within 2 of Wolverine just. She's paid 1 power to pick up the Spider Infected, so she's holding 1 now. She then spent 3 on Matter Transmutation, I think it's called. You select another character within 2 that has an activate token and you push them small. So she pushed Wolverine backwards to try and save him a little bit. She then shot a cheeky Psionic Bolt for her actual second action. At Sabretooth, it only did 1 damage. The attack roll was pretty bad. Red Skull activated, he moved forwards and he is still claiming the portal behind him there. He used Unleash the Cube for 4 power on Wolverine, hoping that that would be enough to kill him. It only did 1 damage, which would not have been, and if it had done more he would have used exceptional healing anyway. But it included a free throw for getting a wild, so he got chucked into Jean. The 1 damage from the impact was enough to daze him, and Jean did not do well with her dodge roll. She took 3 damage, because remember, thanks to his Adamantium Skeleton, Wolverine counts as size 3 for the purposes of collisions. Then after that he paid 1 power to pick up the Spider Infected that Wolverine dropped, so a very effective turn finally for Red Skull. Deadpool moved into position so that he is holding the back flaming demonic portal, then he used a bang bang attack on Red Skull. It only got 1 hit through, so not only did it not do much damage, but absolutely no chance of doing like the bang 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 bang, where you can keep on comboing it. Just have not had any luck with that attack ever to date. Red Skull easily blocked the attack, so he's just holding that portal. So perhaps a tactical activation for the Cabal next. Toad activate and just unactivate. He is very content sitting back here earning 2 victory points a turn, 1 for the portal and 1 for the Spider Infected he's holding, and he wants to force Cyclops to maybe get a little bit closer before Omega Red activates. So Cyclops did a little shimmy to the side, so he's just within range 4 of Red Skull, fired an Optic Blast at him, only did 1 damage, but better than nothing I suppose, and so it is over to Omega Red to end off Battle Round 3. Omega Red has been missing out on combat thanks to holding a Spider Infected that keeps on shuffling him backwards, so he just small moved twice. It put him right next to Jean, and because he ended his activation within 2 of her, she is now poisoned. So she'll basically just be generating 1 power in the power phase instead of 2. And now it is to the scoring. So at the end of Battle Round 3 there was a lot of shuffling as we technically go into the power phase for Battle Round 4. But cover scores first. The Uncanny X-Men have 2 Spider Infected for 2 victory points, and they held the back Flaming Portal for a total of 3, taking them to 11. Cabal have their back portal. Red Skull was holding the central portal, and they once again were back to 3 Spider Infected, so they gained 5, and that took them to 12, so they're ahead by 1 point now. Red Skull was incinerated again, Deadpool was incinerated, and Cyclops and Jean both got moved by the Spider Infected they're holding. Omega Red once again got moved by the Spider Infected he's holding, but the other two, Red Skull and Toad, did not get moved. So, we're going to jump into Battle Round 4, and the Uncanny X-Men have once again gained first activation. So, Battle Round 4, Storm activated first, and she had quite a bit of power. So for her first activation, she just moved right next to the portal there. Then she spent 4 on Hurricane. Sadly, didn't have quite enough to power it up with Eye of the Storm. But that's still 5 physical, or 6. It's 5, yeah. 5 physical on everyone within Area 2. Didn't hurt Sabretooth at all. We did very well. Did 3 damage to Red Skull. Did a massive 5 to Cassandra Nova. And because she can fly, it does 1 bonus damage after it's resolved. And she has 6 health on her dazed side. So she is actually just gone. She did very well, but she didn't count on a hurricane appearing beneath her feet and wrecking her. Oh, also though, I believe I forgot to mention, but she does have healing factor 1, which I think means that Wolverine would not have dazed her, which would obviously alter things now. I don't remember for sure, but that might have been done incorrectly. Doesn't affect this because she hasn't activated, and she's not going to activate now, but that might have been something earlier. Red Skull activated and first of all paid 1 power for a Cosmic Blast. Yes, Cosmic Blast. On Cyclops, it did 4, it only needed to do 1, he finally got dazed, and the Spider Infected he was holding has been dropped there. He then spent 4 on unleashing the cube on Wolverine. It would have done 4 damage, but he played for 3 power, exceptional healing, to reduce the damage received to 1. So that is down to there. He didn't move, he's also holding a Spider Infected. The only Cabal there that can actually carry that one would be Sabretooth. So Wolverine activated and decided to spend 3 for the best at what I do to chuck himself at Red Skull, followed by a free adamantium slash. It only did 1 damage, which wasn't good enough. So he had to do another one. It also only did 1 damage, but that is enough. The Red Skull is gone, because he was on his wounded side. He also dropped a Spider Infected, however Wolverine paid 1 to pick up the one that was next to Jean over there, because she's also still holding one. So the one that Red Skull was holding has been put conveniently, oops, his sword is poking out so I accidentally hit it. Put it right next there to Deadpool, and he also has healed to full now as well, thanks to healing factor. Omega Red activated, and it was a pretty simple activation for him. He started with a coil attack. On Jean, it did 2 damage, and that wasn't enough to take her out, so then he spent 4 just to guarantee it on a Red Terror. Got nothing but hits, so no wilds, which are the fun thing for that attack, because you can change crits and wilds to skulls, and then for each one you change, you gain power. Either way though, it did 3 damage and Jean is dazed. Oh, which does mean that Wolverine might have the power to play the Jean card? We'll see. Sadly, well, a good thing and a bad thing, the Jean card does not require any power to play. All that matters is that when Jean is KO'd or dazed, Cyclops or Wolverine can play the card. Unfortunately, it just says like you can perform an attack. Sorry, I didn't realise that wasn't quite in focus. You just perform an attack. Wolverine doesn't have the power to do his Berserker Barrage at range 3, and his basic attack is range 2, so he can't reach Omega Red, so can't use the Jean card, sadly. The other thing I forgot to mention for Omega Red's turn, when he dazed Jean, she dropped her Spider Infected, and it has been placed right next to Sabretooth. So Deadpool activated, he paid 1 power to pick up the Spider Infected that had been graciously placed next to him. He stayed where he was holding that back portal. He cleared his Incinerate just because, for one of his actions after doing a bang bang. Actually, he did the clear first, and I just realised that might have been the stupid mistake that just cost the game. Oh no, it absolutely is, and there's no take backsies because dice have been rolled. He cleared the incinerator thinking, whatever. Then he did bang 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 on Sabretooth, did 3 damage, putting him 1 away from death. If Sabretooth had been taken out, is he only wounded? No, yeah, he is on his wounded side, he would be dead. That would have meant that the Uncanny X-Men probably could have taken it next turn, but with him surviving on 1 health, and healing factor would heal him 1 more as well on his turn, which is now, he'd pay 1 to pick that up. He could run away, he could contest, it doesn't matter. The 1 point he gains from that, coupled with the other points that the Cabal earn this turn, largely thanks to Toad just sitting back there generating 2 per turn, actually puts them at the 16, I think. Oh, that was so stupid. Deadpool, I hate you, even though it was not your fault. Yeah, so just taking a look at the points there. Uncanny X-Men have the back portal, have 2 Spider Infected, they gain 3, which takes them to 14. Toad Toad has the back portal, it's a draw here in the middle, so it's just 1 for the Cabal from portals, but they have 3 Spider Infected if Sabretooth picks one up, which puts them exactly on 16, which would mean they win at the bottom of turn 4. We're going to do something we don't usually do here, and we're going to roll dice live to see if, had Deadpool done his other 4 dice physical attack, if he would have taken out Sabretooth. So we have dice here, let's see. So his initial attack roll, I've never seen, the attack is actually called Bang, and then it becomes Bang Bang, and then becomes Bang Bang Bang, but you need a hit and a wild. He can reroll 1 because of I Know Karate, which rerolled into exactly what it was, so you see the kind of luck that happens with these dice. Sabretooth has 3 defense dice. He has already blocked it, so actually the stupid mistake did not matter. It would have happened exactly like that. The Cabal have won. It's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory there for the Cabal because their leader is dead, Cassandra Nova is dead, Sabretooth is close to death. Toad's fine, Toad's just loving life at the back of the table, just doing work. Omega Red, he was trying to get into the thick of it and just kept on getting pulled back by Spider Infected and whatnot. But he's sturdy. We didn't really get the chance to see the full effect of him spreading poison to everybody. But he is neat. Cassandra Nova was great. It's just an unlucky roll that Hurricane took her out on her wounded side and won. But yeah, they both seem very effective. Deadpool, I don't know. At least he didn't drop the chimichanga and help the enemy this time. All in all, I think the Uncanny X-Men would have won the battle here, but they lost to points, obviously. And the points are what matters in Crisis Protocol. So it is a Cabal victory. That was a fun match. It was close. Right up to the very end, it was 14 versus 16 at the end of Battle Round 4. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon for more in the future. Until then, ta-ta for now.